Am I really going to do a whole video about Quicksilver Highway? You bet. Here are 19 reasons to watch Quicksilver Highway. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, at Dave Musson on Instagram, and this is a place where I talk to you about all things Stephen King. And we are, again, continuing our walk through the movies and adaptations of Stephen King's works. And we're still in 1997, and we're covering Quicksilver Highway, a sort of anthology from Mick Garris that took one Stephen King story and one Clive Barker story and put them together into this, well, weird little curio. I'm going to give you 19 reasons to watch this thing, and don't worry about spoilers, because anything that might spoil a first time watch will be hidden behind a spoiler alert, so you can either bail completely or skip to the end using the timestamp in the description. Also in the description there's links to some other things that I do. Check those out if you like, but more than anything, thank you for coming and watching this one. So as with the Night Flyer, this one doesn't appear to be on streamers, but also, as with the Night Flyer, if you do a little bit of searching here on YouTube, you'll probably find it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's crack into these 19 reasons to watch Quicksilver Highway, shall we? So my main reason to watch this one. It's dumb, it's fun, it's campy, and it takes one of the better stories from Nightmares and Dreamscapes, Chattery Teeth, and gives it an adaptation that is faithful, that works, and doesn't outstay its welcome. This whole thing is a breezy watch and is perfect for when you just want to kick back and relax. Oh, main reason number 2. Christopher Lloyd in the lead role. Great Scott!
But what are we without them?
So if you've been following my videos, you'll be getting familiar with the work of Mick Garris now, and this is more of the same. It's campy, it's silly, it's faithful to the source material, it's objectively very bad, but subjectively lots and lots of fun. So this one was shot in just 24 days, and that energy comes across on screen. It moves, just like I'm doing through these reasons. So as I mentioned, this is a sort of anthology movie, taking two stories, Chattery Teeth from King and the Body Politic from Clive Barker, and putting them into this mashup. But with Mick Garris at the helm, it's done properly, i.e. there is a wraparound story that makes sense and that glues it all together. And I like that in an anthology movie. So the hook here, that wraparound story, is a travelling storyteller, Aaron Quicksilver, who is played by Christopher Lloyd, and whose role is to basically go around telling spooky stories to people who might need to hear them. So he tells Chattery Teeth to a young couple who are hitchhiking, because Chattery Teeth has a somewhat dangerous hitchhiker there, and he tells the Body Politic to someone he spots trying to pickpocket people, because the Body Politic has a hand that gets somewhat out of control of the body and mind that it's attached to. Without that wraparound, this movie would struggle to make an impact, but with it, it works. So as you might have guessed, the idea behind this was to actually make it a regular thing on TV and have Aaron Quicksilver going around telling a bunch of other stories, but obviously it never happened, so we're just left with this weird standalone thing. So fun fact for you, Mick Garris kept the chunky wind-up teeth from the Chattery Teeth section after filming because, well, why not? So let's talk cast. Christopher Lloyd first, and he is great. He said he wanted to channel Hamlet when he was playing this, and sure, whatever, Christopher. But honestly, he works brilliantly in this. He is perfectly cast, he's really fun, he's really silly, he's really compelling. And he's just great to watch, especially when he's dressed as like an early nu metal cybergoth wizard. The rest of the cast, admittedly, is pretty forgettable here, aside from Matt Frewer, who has become by this point a Mick Garris regular and will continue to be a Mick Garris regular in Stephen King adaptations. So he has 2 roles in this. He plays one half of the couple who are hitchhiking, who listen to the Chattery Teeth, and he plays the lead doctor in the Body Politic, and he's great in both because he's always great. Oh, and Frewer didn't even have to audition for this. Mick Garris simply called him up and offered him the gig. Dipping back into the rest of the cast, I will mention the dangerous hitchhiker played here by Silas Weir Mitchell, mainly because his character's name is Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams.
Imagine getting attacked by Bryan Adams. I suppose if he sang the Robin Hood song at you, that'd be pretty gruesome. It's also worth a shout out to Christopher Hart, whose handiwork you might recognise from the Addams Family movies from the early 90s. Handiwork? Guys, he plays the Hand, okay? No King cameo in this one, but do keep your eyes peeled for little appearances from Clive Barker, John Landis, and Mick Garris himself. Lastly, before spoilers, yes, silly, yes, dated, no, not particularly good, but also kind of fun if you can track it down. Okay, I've got a few more reasons left, and they're potentially going to spoil a first time watch, so if you want to bail at this point, then please do. You can go all together, or you can use the timestamp below to skip to the outro, but otherwise stick around, because I've got just a few more reasons for you to watch Quicksilver Highway coming right up. So in terms of how faithful an adaptation the Chattery Teeth part is, it's pretty damn faithful. Not much more to add to that, and I haven't read the Body Politic yet, so I can't really comment on that. But it's Mick Garris directing, so it's probably pretty faithful. So, favourite scene? I mean, it's obviously when the teeth just go to work, right? And some of the hand stuff is good as well, but it's the teeth all the way.
That's very bad behavior.
As for favourite quotes, honestly, there aren't any good ones, so I suppose Christopher Lloyd talking about how he's a collector of rare things will just have to do, I guess.
You might say I'm a collector. I collect rare objects.
So we've sort of covered links to other King works, but let's just tie it all up, shall we? So it's mainly Mick Garris. So by this point, he'd done Sleepwalkers, he'd done the Stand miniseries, obviously he did Quicksilver Highway. He would then go on to do, or by this point, he'd already done the Shining miniseries. I just haven't got around to covering it yet because I'm still sorting out rewatching it. And then after this, he would go on to do the Desperation miniseries and the Bag of Bones miniseries, as well as the Riding the Bullet movie. Matt Frewer was basically in all of those, as was Cynthia Garris, and John Landis and Clive Barker also had cameos way back in Sleepwalkers 2. Does that do it? Lastly, I will repeat myself, this is a fun watch. Fun rather than good.
Is it the man or the hands who creates his art?
Okay, there we go, 19 reasons to watch Quicksilver Highway. Have you watched this one? Let me know what you think of it. And if you've read the Body Politic, let me know how the segment in this compares to that short story. I'd be interested to hear. You can find links to a bunch of things in the description of other things I'm doing, so my newsletter, podcasts, my fiction, those kind of things. And do consider subscribing to this channel if you don't already. There's more than 6,000 of you now, which is incredible. But if you want to add your name to that list so you don't miss any future videos, please do. If I can tempt you with the next video, I mean, this will obviously push you into subscribing. But I mean, if you thought this one was a stretch, doing 19 reasons to watch Quicksilver Highway, you just wait until we come back next time and I'm covering trucks.